Hello and welcome. So today we are continuing our work on our custom game engine editor, and I've already prepared a list of things we might do today. At least that's what our plan is, and let's probably quickly go through it. So first thing I will do, and I will change this now, and I'll put it on the list nevertheless. Make the font size bigger in the IDE so that all of you can read this much better. So let's check where we can do this. I think it's somewhere in settings, I guess. Let's just search for font sounds good. And let's call it, let's put this to 14 maybe. And let's see. And yeah, maybe we make it even bigger. Let's probably go to 16. And yeah, I mean, it's quite big now, and at least for me, for you, I think it's still not that huge, but yeah, I hope you can read it nevertheless. Just let me know if it's still too small. Otherwise, yeah, we'll just start. Just let me first write a small welcome message in the chat. Today we are continuing working on our game editor, mainly asset browsing and adding tabs to our main viewport. Okay, good. So let's go through the list, or probably before we go to the new list, let's probably start and finish off with the old list, which actually we did finish. So what we have here were all these goals, and making the editor bigger, creating a separate asset browser, stuff like that. And yeah, we achieved all of that. And also making a thumbnail of the image and displaying the image, displaying the thumbnail in the asset browser. So let's probably quickly fire that up. Let's see if everybody can see the actual game when it's rendering, or the game editor in our case. Let's see, I think, yeah, okay, now we have we have now some compile errors because I was just about to start some new stuff, which does not exist anymore, or what is it? Yeah, I mean, let's see. So we have the graphics frame buffer. Yeah, makes sense. We will need a new one. I'll just quickly do that. Frame buffer for the main tab panel. That makes sense. And yeah, maybe we will. Let's see. This is just something new that I will come to in a moment. Okay, let's see. I think it should work now. No, it did not. That's fine. Yeah, you should never change something 1 minute before the stream starts. Yeah, okay. Let's just not do that now. This is our main tab panel, and I will come to that a little bit later. Explain what that does and why we need it. Okay, so here we go. So the nice thing is now that we have still our main view, and per default I'm just loading the soldier model. But the nice thing is now if I go to import and I load another model, you can see that first of all it is just for now switching in the main window. That is just for now. We will change that, but you can see that we also have now a list of all the assets that we have imported here, and I can also import another one, which is this little blob. Okay, which is actually not displayed here now, but however. And so as of now we can import essentially the same model more than once, and it will then be displayed redundantly here. But yeah, we will tackle that in the course of either today or in the next upcoming days. Okay, so essentially that was just a wrap of yesterday. So we finished our goal here, and what I came up with today is now a new list. But first of all, let me quickly change the name of this, because notes T doesn't make sense. Call it notes, and we will also probably rename this here. I'll also just call it 25, so they are all essentially having the same pattern now. Okay, so now we're making the font size bigger in the IDE. We did that. This is done, and displaying all the assets in the browser. I mean, essentially we're doing that. And so the next thing I want to tackle is to have the functionality of this asset browser actually be more useful. What I want is to enable, first of all, a very simple action which just opens essentially like an asset editor on double click of this asset. So when I double click here, currently nothing happens, but the idea is that when we click here, only then we will open up an editor, in that case for a 3D model. If this would be another asset, for example a texture, and we click the texture, then it would also open up here in a new tab, but with a texture editor. And if it's a model, it would be a model editor. And so what we would need to do now in our main 3D viewport is to actually enable something like a tab view. And yeah, so tabs are something like what you see here, for example, or within my CLion IDE. This is a tab, this is a tab, this is a tab, and you can activate the tab, and each time you activate the tab, yeah, the body of the tab, the main contents of the tab are actually rendered. Okay, so we want to kind of mimic this a little bit. This behavior, it's a very classic UI behavior, and I'm quite sure every one of you has already seen it in his life, or when you were creating some UIs for yourself and when you were using them for sure. Okay, so let's quickly go through what I've already created for this. It's really just baby steps, but the idea was to have something like a, first let's have a nap of water. So the idea was to have something like a structure for tabs, and the tab essentially consists of two pieces. One is what I call the header. So the header will essentially be then rendered as a rectangular, as a rect with a name, and the name will be the name of what I call the resource. So it could be a file name if it's a code editor, because code scripts will later be also assets, I believe. At least that's a plan. And we also have, for now, we have textures and models, and they all have a name, and so we will display the name of the resource, of the respective resource in the header. And each tab also will have a type for its content, so that I know which kind of content I need to render, and therefore I have this tab type, and there I am. So we can now continue together. So this is the tab type, and I think we will for now have something that is a 3D model, that is a texture, and probably that's a script. So for now that is, I think, enough, and we are happy if all of these work. And the next thing that we need to think about is to actually kind of represent the actual content. And yeah, I'm not quite sure about that. I mean, we could now just do the strategy where we just have essentially different kinds of members here, depending on the type, and we will just choose the right one. And I think maybe we will just do that. So for a mesh, for example, we would just have a mesh group. So this would be for models. For textures, we just have a graphics handle of a texture. And for scripts, currently, yeah, just have it as a script for now. So this is just temporary. We don't know yet. We don't know the real structure of a script yet. Okay, but script will then be the thing where the logic of our game actually lives. And so the idea is you will later have some game objects. I just like that notion the most. I mean, there are different concepts. Some editors, some engines call it scenes, and some call it prefabs, whatever. And game object is also a term used, for example, by Unity, but I think it's just describing so well what it is. It's just the main Lego blocks, the main building blocks of the game. And the idea is you can have different game objects, and they are essentially the carriers of resources, and resources can then be meshes, so they would be rendered model meshes, and those have textures, stuff like that. But here is just our this is then the editor of a specific resource here, so you can probably change the sizing, change the scaling, stuff like that. Okay, good. So now we have this very basic structure. We will try to continue working on that in our main editor. So as you have seen, I already have also a let's make this probably 96 too, so we make this the 3D pane a little bit smaller. No, that's actually fine. Yeah, no, that's fine. We will just go down here, and we'll also make the height a little bit smaller. So we should now have a small place at the top of the 3D viewport. And yeah, I mean, we don't really see it for now. Let's just see if we can have the main render tab. So let's just clear it into a different color. Let's clear this into a slightly more blue. So this is where we will then render all the tabs. but for now we will just essentially we don't even need the camera now. We will do this in just a second, and we will just draw back to the back buffer so that we can just see this, essentially this like band of space which will house then the actual tabs. Okay. No, not here, but here. Come on. Okay, that's fine. Let's create this as new variables. And let's see if that already works. I think it's just not created actually now. So we need to create it. And we will call this frame buffer main tab panel. We'll create it, and the width of 200 by 2 is fine, and the height is 32 for now. No, the height is 32. Let's try to make it rather slim, and let's see if that works. Not exactly, because I guess this is what it's meant to be, but obviously that's not good. Let's see. Render main tab panel. Let's probably even give us a bookmark. But this is fine, I guess. The width and the height, we need to check why that is so crazy. Yeah, but I think no, it should actually be okay. Yeah, I mean that's kind of okay. But it's of course the frame buffer of the main tab panel. That's the first thing. And yeah, yep. I mean, in generally, I don't feel it's totally wrong. Let's just jump into the debugger here. So here we are. Yeah. Okay, so we're partially improving. So at least now, yeah, okay. At least now the color is as expected because we have this slightly more bluish tint. But let's see what is actually going on. So the origin is 200. The origin is, of course, just 32. Origin Y is 32. 32 down. Plus. Where are we here? Render the main panel. I mean, that's actually I know, so it's, I think plus 16 because it's half of the height, so that's fine. The width is screen speed minus 400. I mean, that's actually fine. And the height is 32. I think that was the problem. Let's see again. Yeah, I mean, we're getting there. So it's essentially 200 plus editor state screen width minus 400 divided by 2, because I think we just need to offset it to the right. Okay, yeah, that's that's too much. That's too much. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, let's just set it up to 100. I just want to see why it does what it does. Yeah, it's interesting. Set it up by another 400. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. It looks like it's I mean, I think we can probably just say it's this editor state screen width times 2. Yeah, because we really want it centered anyway. Yeah, I think it makes sense. Maybe that's it. As long as the width is correct, I think that should actually work. Here we go. Cool. Okay. Let's not try one more thing. I want to really see. No, let's just leave the 3D painted black. I think it's fine for now. Okay. Now the actual work. Good. So we will have to render a rectangle for each tab. So that's fine. I think we can orient ourselves a little bit at the asset panel code that we have here. It's a little bit like that, I would say. Because what we want to do is we don't have a mesh index. I mean, that's fine. So we have something like a actual horizontal offset, which would be 100 plus how long is a tab? This is a good question, because we can have tabs that are all the same, which we will do for now. Let's say each tab is 100 pixels now, and now we will just call it int tab index equals 0. So the texture is actually a text. So we will do something similar to here, render menu texts. And we will probably just do that anyway for now. So we'll have blending enabled, but we will just do that here. bind the shader program. Yeah, for now let's just do it like that. So this is now the text mesh. Then we bind the array of this text. But this is not okay. I see. Yes. Okay. Yeah. We say tab. So this is actually the tab. The tab has a tab header, and we could actually store already the title mesh, title text mesh in here. Yeah, I think that would be nice. The tab header has the name, so we can look it up and stuff like that. But we will also have an actual mesh, which is the title. Let's call it title here. The title text mesh. I will probably just move that down. Do we have an option to measure? Render text into quad geometry. I remember I had something like measuring text here, which was essentially the same, more or less the same as rendering the text, but we just had this bounding box, and the bounding box looked just like that. And why wouldn't we have that, right? So we can, and it is a font handle. No, it's a graphics handle in our case. I changed that. And it's the text at probably that should be it already. Because now we could even say that. So okay, so we started at 6:15, 6:50 to 8:15. Okay, so now we could even be really accurate with our measurement here, and try to know last text bounding box is text mesh. No, measure. Oh yeah, I have not rendered text into quad, and I have it here, but this is not yet in engine H. Let's put that here, and now we should be able to use it. Here we go. So This is the font handle, and the text is, of course, the tab header title. So because now we can probably say int last text length was, let's say, 0. Or let's say accumulated text length makes even more sense. And I would just leave a bit of room, let's say 16 pixels. So we start with an offset of 100, which is maybe even too much. Start with an offset of 16 as well. Then we have the accumulated text length. And yeah, probably that should be it. Yeah, plus 16, whatever. So we have now the accumulated text length plus equals bounding box right minus title bounding box left. Okay, so we bind the text mesh. We bind our font texture. We scale it not, essentially. I mean, we don't even need the scale here. It's useless. And now it's important, we need to put it into the horizontal offset. And Y is 16. Maybe it's then 24 later. I have it a little bit more down. Yeah, 24 makes actually sense, I guess. And we upload this and we render it. And this would then be for the actual background rect. And this is yet a to do. Okay, so nothing will happen now because we do not have any tabs. I just want to make sure that nothing broke, which I'm quite positive it will not. But we don't even compile, interestingly enough. Yeah, that will just be a small issue. I think it looks already better. Yeah, let's run it. Okay, that crashed quickly. Let's see where. Okay, it did not crash now. Ugh, that's always bad. Okay, I mean, yeah, let's just watch it. But okay, I mean, nothing's happening. So now if we would just create some dummy tabs. Let's just do that at the end of our init function. Create some test tabs. So we have the editor states tabs, main tabs. Yeah, because we might have tabs in other areas as well. Main tabs, pushback, create a new tab. So auto tab 1 equals new tab 1 tab header title equals whatever. soldier, tab 1, tab header. No, there is no icon. Oh my god, this wonderful AI. Create text mesh. Yeah, that's actually, that was fine again. Tab 1. Yeah, nothing else now. Okay, the type is actually a model. And tab 1. Texture is nothing. Yeah, I mean, that's fine. Okay. And let's just create another tab. Tab 2 and what is there going on? What? No. Ah, it's a constant. I think that would also actually work. Yeah. Let's call this night. And now we will just add tab 1. Just add tab 2. And let's now probably debug that right away. Because I think we should at least come here now. Yeah, here we go. So the text mesh is here. The title bounding box. Let's see if that worked. The bounding box looks like that, right, left. I mean, yeah, that doesn't look that bad. So the accumulated length is now 62. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, I mean, we bind everything and now we just render it. There is nothing here. There's just absolutely nothing. Complete nothingness. So let's fire up our trusty render doc. And let's try to inspect all kinds of things. So let's do a new launch. Okay, that didn't work. Yeah, again, it's a crash. We need to find out what is crashing here. Ooh, bad news. Bad news. Cannot even start now. Not good. Okay, at least we survived frame 1. Let's try. Oh god, it's not good. That's not good. Okay, at least now we could capture a frame. So what we will probably do is try to, okay, but this is the tab bar here. I think this is the tab bar, and I would argue that this is some text and this is some other text. Yeah, I think this is the knight and this is the SOLDEIR. This is the soldier. Okay, let's see. Why don't we see that here? Okay, Oh, I think I know. The camera is missing. We need a specific camera, right? And while I am seeing this, maybe we can even let us create the camera. Create camera for panel. And it is actually let's say activate camera for panel. Say auto camera. So we need essentially a width and height. Width, height. And we need an editor state, and I mean that's basically all there is to it. So now when we render our, we can also do it like that, render main tab pane, we can now say activate auto camera for panel, and it is just the width and the height. And the editor state. Yeah, I mean maybe it does. Yeah, I mean you can return the camera, why not? I think I don't really need it. Let's see if this changes anything. Here we go. And it's not that bad. I mean, it's a little bit cramped. And we can probably improve that. I mean, I'm a little bit surprised. Well, I'm so tired. Okay, so something is a little bit strange here. I think we will probably incorporate it into the accumulated length, this little margin here, and let's say we have 16. Yeah, I like that much better. Now we would have 2 tabs, okay? Yep. That is nice. Okay, good. So let's continue. So be right back in a second. I will just grab some more water. Just takes 20 seconds. So here we are again. With some water. Okay. Now let's continue. Come on. Good. Yeah, let's also try to render some background quad. I'm just thinking, because that would just be a colored quad, we don't even need a texture. But yeah. On the other hand, then I would need to change the shader extra for that. I don't want that also. Maybe let's just use now the debug texture, which looks totally horrible. But, oh no, you know what? We will just create a super small little texture. I will just create that here. Like 16 by 16. And I can show you. So where is the GIMP? Here is GIMP. Maybe a little bit big. So, and yeah, I mean, what I will do is really just fill it with some color. I mean, really nothing else. Just with some whatever dark color, and that will be it. So we can still keep our texture-based pipeline. I'll just call it gray BG PNG, and yeah, just let's export that. To our asset folder. Good. We should see it now. We have a gray BG. We just have to load it. Create texture from file. I think there's even a method. Create texture from file. Assets, gray background. .png, and we will just put it into the editor state texture pool. Texture pool under gray background. Yeah, that's what we'll do. Okay. Now that we have that, let's use it. Go to the editor state texture pool, and we call it gray background. We don't need a rotation. We will need a scale, and we will need the word matrix. And we want to, oh, sorry. Yeah, it will essentially be the horizontal. Oh, sorry, that will just be whatever. That's 16. This is the horizontal offset -4. Just the scale matrix, and we will have it title bounding box with right minus title bounding box left plus 8. And let's make it 32 high. Let's see how that comes out. Let's see if it looks half decent at least. No, no, it does not. I mean, first of all, I want to disable the blending anyway. But yeah, each time I type, the guy moves up back and forth. But yeah, I'm not happy with that here. Let's translate. Let's see what RenderDoc says. So what does RenderDoc say? What is your opinion here? I already saw some interesting effects here. As you can see, okay, so we're clearing this to our bluish color. That's fine. Then we clear the depth buffer. Then we draw some text, which is also fine. And now the problem comes. Okay, so now this white. Why is that white? Why is that white? Because gray background is actually gray. So that. Oh, I think I know what the problem. One of the problems is. I need a quad. I definitely need a quad. Maybe that's already it. Because without the correct quad, I mean, nothing makes sense. Yeah, I mean, it's starting to get better. And you want to enable the blending as well. I mean, the texture doesn't really fully make sense, but anyway. And we need another shader, of course. And we need another shader. We need another shader, and I think we just do it like that. And we will just do that. This is the shader. I think it could work now. And that would also explain the white color. Because the text shader renders everything in white. I think we're good now. Yeah, more or less. Yeah, I mean we're getting there. So we must enable blending. That's one thing. Yeah, I mean it's starting to get a little bit better, but the horizontal offset doesn't make sense. We don't even need that. Horizontal offset. Yeah, I mean that would. Right one is left. Let's say title width is that. So we have the title width plus 16. Title width plus 8. Okay, yes, the horizontal offset -4 plus title width times 2, something like that. Let's call it like that. Yeah, I mean we're getting there. Definitely getting there. And I think we will actually even do this afterwards because yeah. Now we must change that. Oh, did I debug? I didn't want to debug. Sorry, I need to close down the render dock. You don't see anything. Sorry for that. Yeah, we're getting there slowly but steady. But it's not perfect yet. I don't like that. The scale is maybe just too much. Hey, here we go. Yeah, no, I mean I think it's actually the 16 is fine, but I think we just need to the accumulated vertex length is maybe better this way. Yeah, getting getting there. And let's make it 24. Yeah. That's a little bit better already. So where is the horizontal offset now? Yep. It's maybe no. Actually, I think that's. Actually, I think this is fine. Yeah, I think this is fine. I need to change it at the rect rendering code anyway. I think that's better. Yeah. Let's see if this helps. No. This is a little bit of playing around, but I think when we have these measurements correct, we'll be good to go for a long time. Yeah. I think that's good enough for now. Let's probably just try with a third tab. Just create a new one. Tab 3. We call this whatever. Diffuse texture soldier. It's like a longer text. How that looks. Let's see how that behaves. And we'll just add this, and then we can even play around with the longer text in the middle or at the beginning and see if everything is fine, and then I think we're good. Seems we're not good. Yeah, those crashes are a little bit interesting. Well, but I mean, I'm not dissatisfied. I think it's quite okay. I mean, if we now could select these, I mean, that's already quite nice. That's already quite something. Let's just experiment with a little bit different background color now. How that looks like, if it looks better or if it looks a little bit strange. Yeah, it looks a little bit strange. I think what might help is just a line. Let's just render one small line. Let's just render one small line, like a separation line at the end of the top header. So let's isolate this a bit. And yeah, that was of course the wrong thing. That was definitely the wrong thing. I want this. Render the title text. Yeah, that is better. And this has the width. The height is just, let's say, 2 pixels now. And we start at origin x plus width times 2. And we start at 31. Let's see if that works out of the box. Almost. I mean, the line is here, and I think it's okay, but the origin is just completely off. I mean, let's just say it's actually editor state screen width times by 2 again. I think that should work now. I think that should be it. Yeah. I mean, now we have this kind of separation here, which is not so bad. Which is not that bad. Maybe we can render it a little bit more up. Maybe 16 is good. No, that's not so nice. I mean, actually 20 would be the good number, I think, but this is not on the 8 pixel raster, but on the 8 pixel grid. But indeed, it looks quite nice now. Okay. Yeah. I mean, that's okay. Now let's try something. Let's load this one animating blob, which it's just not shown anymore. I need to find out why that is the case. So I think we will now quickly debug this, because I want to make sure that I didn't break anything like fundamentally in our animation rendering, because we will need it anyway very soon, as soon as we have this editor for our animated meshes. We need it anyway. And I remember this worked yesterday still, so something that I did broke it. So let's see what that was. So when we go to render 3D panel, because it must be here somewhere. When we go here, what is it? What is it that we see here? Is that maybe the problem? Let's see. I will load this animated blob, and then maybe it's a texturing issue actually. Yeah. And now let's see what we have here. Yeah, I don't want that now. But we have the game objects. We have the game objects. We have the mesh. Has the mesh a name? It's a cube, I guess it has. Yeah, and it has a skeleton. Yes. And the diffuse texture. Yeah, I mean, otherwise we just have to check in the animated shader program. I mean, all of this looks actually quite nice. I hope I didn't break it too badly, because that would not be so nice. I mean, it doesn't actually look completely wrong. I mean, there's just nothing showing up. Let's go into our trusty render doc. Let's see. Good. Ah, no, that was stupid. It was the wrong model. I hope we survive once more. Come on. Yeah. Okay. Test 2. Okay, now we go. Oh no, it did not survive again. Yeah, that's horribly unstable. It's not good. We just need to keep moving forward. Yeah, I think at least we grabbed something. Okay. So where is the 3D panel? Okay, so that's nice. So there you see how the first the rect, then the text, then the rect with the correct length, then the text popped on top of it. Then I think it's the 3D panel anyway. Yep. As you can see, we should actually see something here. Yeah. There is the nice wireframe mesh. All good. So the depth test is fine, the stencil test is fine, the backface color is fine. It's just, I guess, still the texture is just shit. Yeah. Which is interesting. If we, let's debug it. It doesn't help anyway. So let's go here. Yeah, let's check this out here. What? Oh. Okay, where are we crashing here? We're crashing in game objects. Oh, wow, is that really the case? Interesting. Okay. So once more, because you can see, but I can't close. Well, I can minimize the screen, it seems. Come on. Wow. That's interesting. Okay. Yeah, I definitely need to look at that because the word expo fun. Yeah, I'm wondering if I need to make the size bigger here. Could this be the case? No. I mean, this is the vertex size. Yeah, that would only make a difference if we have dynamic text, which we don't have here. So it doesn't really fully make sense. Oh no, I was stupid. I was again not very clever here. Okay, let me see. Oh no, I cannot. Oh. Let it. Let's move it away. Let's move it out of the way now. For now. Okay. So you can follow along. So import this mesh. So what is going on here? Especially with the materials actually. Because I think that's currently the only problem. So it's an external texture file. This is fine. And the diffuse texture path is what? Yeah, I mean it's empty. I see. Okay. I see. I mean that's okay. Yeah, let's. I think I see the problem. I think it's then actually happening here. Because now if I say to mesh, and if this, so we have this diffuse texture path, which is essentially 0, or like it's an empty string, and then we have the diffuse texture ID is -1. Or why is it not -1? Actually, it's 0. Okay, I need to check where this comes from. should not be the case. I mean, that should not be the case. That should not be the case. Okay, that is already too late. We need to go here. Now let's see. This is the mesh import data, and the mesh import data, does it have a diffuse texture? Oh, I see. This is the problem. This must be initialized to -1. I think now it should work much better. Because so we set to mesh the diffuse texture path, but we now have diffuse texture D is -1. Yeah. If the diffuse texture path is empty, we just leave it empty. And I think that's now much better. And there we go. Now we have again our animating mesh. Okay, I just wanted to make sure this works. And when we now import the night, we just see the night, and that's fine. And so yeah, I mean, basically I will show it to you again. Didn't even see it now. I will demonstrate it once more. I'll re-import my animated thingy into here. Here you see it. Okay. So I think the next cool thing would really be that we kind of do a double click here, and we try to open a tab when we double click an asset. Okay. Let's make this step by step. So first we need to find out how to best do a double click recognition. And I think that should not be too, that shouldn't be too difficult, I hope. So we quickly research. Okay, so according to documentation, there seems even to be a double click message in Win32, which is wonderful actually. I didn't even expect this. Let's just see if that is really the case. Literally. It seems there is. So then we have left double click equals true. No break. Let's create this static bool left double click is false. Left double click equals false. bool win left, double click, return left, double click, and now let's go into engine.h. Here we have these functions, mouse left, double click, and let's just implement it here, mouse left, double click, so does it really exist? Mouse left, double click. Yeah, so. Check menu inputs. Let's create a new function that is called check asset browser inputs. No, I don't want that. I mean, let's first check actually the mouse. So if the mouse is bigger than actually screen editor state, screen width minus 200, let's say minus 180, 170, 184, and mouse X is smaller than editor state, screen width minus 16, and mouse Y bigger than 132, yeah, I mean, let's just see if you're in the asset browser first of all, and yeah, let's do that. And this is editor state, screen height minus 32. Then we will in mouse over asset browser. And let's see who calls that. And then we will just also do check asset browser inputs. Let's just see. Over as a browser, not. Okay, so the asset browser starts here, not starts here, it's good, not, yes, not, yes. Okay, first the asset browser, good. Next, are we over a specific asset? And I think I will just calculate it. Let's say, or I mean, we can just debug it ourselves once more. Oh no, here we go again. Where was it? Yeah, something is not right with this create text mesh. I need to fix this. To do fix me ever so often we crash here. With memory access annihilation. Good. Let's try again. Oh no. I don't want to fix it now. Please. Please, please, please. But again, I think it's here. Yeah, I need to look into that. Come on, doesn't it work at all anymore now? How can it be? How can it be? Very strange. Text vertex list data. Well, I mean, I guess I don't really have a quick answer now. I don't see the problem. Okay, we survived one more start. That's nice. So what I want to see is, because you see we have all the mouse coordinates displayed here, we can actually kind of just move up here and see where the asset starts. So it starts really at screen width minus a specific amount. That's fine. And we have 32 here. Then we have, I think, another 32, right? More, almost. Yeah. Yeah, we have, where is 64? 64 is here, and then we have another 4. So it starts at 64 plus 4. Let's maybe just add a new one. Just add one more so we can see. Oh, test 2. Yeah, why not? It doesn't matter. So this is then 68 plus 128. That gives 194. And then it's 100. It's 100 nothing. It is 216. It's 194, so that's 24, right? No. 32. Am I stupid? Okay. So 16 plus 6, 22. Oh, that's odd. 22 I don't like. I think I want 24. 24 or 16, but not 22. Maybe 20, but not 22. Let's tweak that a bit. Render assets. So let's make that enter 100. So this is essentially 32 plus 32. Let's make it like that. Let's just see how that looks like. It's maybe not that good, but we'll see. Yeah, it's a little bit too much up. Plus 8 plus 128 by 2. So this is our size. So this is the size. Let's call the vertical size equals 128, sorry. So now it should be actually 8 pixels below the title. No, it's really much more. So it's 32 and this is 64, so let's say it's essentially it's 64. I mean, let's make it like that. And we want to also have the horizontal size 28. So this is then the margin left. 128 by 2 plus 8. See if that works now. Oh, cannot. What is that? I don't get it. I'm so bad at brackets. I'm just totally screwed. Maybe it's... Am I stupid? Yeah, I know it's type to float. Okay. And it's totally not working at all. Or maybe it is, but I just probably ended up with the same margin left anyway. That's possible. Here we go, but I think 16 might be nice. Okay, it crashed again. Yeah, it's better. I think 24 might actually be nice. Yeah, I think it's slightly better. I think we can start a little bit earlier. I don't fully get it why that would be the case, but let's see. Yeah, I think this is better now. But maybe this is better. Okay. Let's now load once more 2 of these assets, and then we'll try to calculate the actual vector position per grid. If it wouldn't crash all the time. Almost all the time, no? Hey, come on. Don't let me down in the last 20 minutes. Oh God. Oh, I must fix this. Yeah, so let's, yeah, I mean, that looks already quite nice. So we have now 72, which makes sense. So here is, so where is 64? 64 is here. That would be 64, and then we have essentially 8 more. Yeah, that makes sense. And between here should be 16, I guess. So it's 200, 216. Perfect. Okay, so essentially we start at 72. Then we go 128. Yeah, and then it's 16. So 72 is the first one. Then we go down 128, then we go down 16, and again it's 128. So check asset browser. Let's see. Let's say the top offset we said is 72. Then the vertical size equals 128, and then the margin, the V margin between each asset is 16. So if we are here, then the actual asset selected let's say the place where we would suppose to be an asset is now mouse Y plus the top offset or essentially it's minus the top offset, because we want to kind of isolate it, just look into our asset browser. That should and let me quickly think this through. So I want to, from the global mouse, I want to deduct the top offset, because then I can just divide by the vertical size plus the margin, and then I know in which area I am. So if we have this, so we call it now, let's float. This is asset coordinates equals mouse y minus top offset y divided by v size plus v margin. Wow, it knew it already. Asset coordinate, or it's actually the asset index. It's even the asset index, right? At index and let's print it out. I'm not fully sure if that will work now. And yeah, we also need to make sure that when we are in the in-between margin, that it's not recognized. Oh no, this again. Let's see if it works, at least after a few attempts. Please come on. It looks better already. Yeah. Okay. So let's see. At index 1, I mean that was our last. So this is 1. This is 0, 1, 2, 3. Let's now add a few more things. A knight and another knight and another soldier. Oh, the fourth one is here. Okay, good. So this is index 0. This is index 1. Still 1. I mean, this is a bit of a problem. This is 2, 3. I mean, so I think to really have it accurate, it's just the v size. Divided by v size plus the v margin times I think it's actually the v margin times that. So it's, does it work? Well, let me think. It's v margin times this. I think like it's the, if we say this is the asset index with margin. So this is like one logical piece. Then it is the asset index with margin plus the actual margin times the asset index with margin, right? Oh, that's a bit, that's probably wonky. I don't know if that makes sense. This is 0, 17. Yeah, I mean, that's clearly wrong. That's just stupid. I mean, let me think this through. Think now it will also not work. So this is 0. This is nice. So it starts too early now. It's 1 1 1 1 1. It's probably already, yeah, it's starting too early. I think that was actually better. V size plus V margin, and I somehow need to then deduct this. Or somehow recognize this. But it might also just be good enough for now. Maybe I will just leave it for now. Because I will anyway, maybe not today, but maybe even. I will just kind of mark it anyway. So this is 0. This is at least 1. It's a little bit overshooting. I'll think about that. And so I think probably one of the last things you can do is maybe to just highlight what we are hovering. So and we can just store that in an editor state. Editor state hovered asset index is that, and we just create it as an integer, and it will be an int, and it will be -1. And now when you render the asset painter, and when we do have let's say we do have a if editor state hovered assert index equals the mesh index, then we will render a new background image here. At 1.9, but it is a little bit bigger. 132, and its margin left -2, vertical offset -2, and we bind the texture of editor state texture pool BG gray. How is it called? Gray BG. Gray BG. Come on. And it's the quad is actually fine. Yeah, I mean, maybe that just works out of the box. That would be super nice. yeah, I mean, it kind of works. It kind of works. So it's 0 and the mesh index. Oh, yes, okay. It's mesh index -1 because here it is already incremented here. And you want the kind of original mesh index here. I think now it should work. Although, I mean, it's not meant to be above here. I think it's, oh yes, I mean, I'm stupid. I think I should not give it to 1.9. It's probably 2.5. It's more in the background. Yes. Yeah, I think I must move it back. Yes. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, the color is really not that good. But I think it should work. Yeah, I mean, it's not perfect. But what is perfect anyway? So, but you get the point. I think it's kind of working now. I think it's a good last step. So you see, we have this very slight indication of where we are hovering over, and yeah, then during the next stream we will try to continue here, and yeah, hopefully I can fix this annoying startup bug. Until then, I will try my best, and yeah, I think it's a nice progress already, and hope to see you next time, and have a good day.